So in this video, we're going to be talking about Virgin Galactic SPCE stock and break down a little bit of what's been going on. By the way, guys, my name is Justin Freno from Push and Profit. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Now, this is a stock that I have been covering for the last few weeks. I didn't make a video on SPCE as yesterday I made a video on AMC stock, which we'll kind of touch up a little bit in this video, but we're really just going to hone in and focus on ticker symbol SPCE. Now, just to kind of summarize real quick some of the things I said in the last few videos, I mentioned how we had this really bearish pattern because we had a double top pattern, and as we can see, that's a really bearish pattern typically, and it has been falling down. Now, obviously, based off recent news, we also had the founder Richard Branson selling a ton of shares, right, for the stock, which has also caused a really bad catalyst to cause more selling in the stock. Now we're over here at sitting around $25.05. So let's go ahead and before we kind of talk more about SPCE, let's just kind of go over some of the trades I made for today. So today, I did $447.50 on AMC. I did $223.92 on ticker symbol SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. And then you could see that Space really had the smallest gain for me today of $49.71. And then of course I'm down $95 for Apple. So overall making a profit of $625.71 today. I was up almost $1,600 on AMC alone today, but being that with this account that you guys are seeing right now is below the $25,000 threshold, I'm limited to 3 day trades during the PDT rule, and because of that I was not able to sell, but it was fine. I knew this was something I was going to hold till tomorrow anyways. But with that being said, let's kind of go over SPCE. This was a really rocky day for me. I did short the stock where I ended up only making almost $50, and it was really rough today because I shorted it in the morning, and then SPCE did kind of push up aggressively within just a few minutes, right? And then again it started pushing down, and after it came down one more time, that's when I realized, hey, let me just go ahead and lock in my profits and get out. And of course it bounced back up, so we ended up kind of really just moving sideways for the day, which is something I mentioned in the last couple of videos on SPCE. Going back to the 4-hour chart, something that I mentioned is that SPCE may either move sideways for a while or down, but I don't think we're gonna have a crazy strong reversal trend just yet, right? Just because we don't have enough catalyst news to go ahead and push the stock to go forward or go even higher. We do have in September the Italian Space Force flying up with SPCE, but they simply have a problem of not having enough flights and generating enough revenue, right? Now besides that, let's go ahead and pull up the news tab in Weibo, and let's go ahead and take a look at this article right here, which kind of just goes over the recent selling that I was mentioning. So Sir Richard Branson, which is the founder of Space, or not Virgin Galactic SPCE, continues to sell down his stake in space tourism venture to fund his pandemic hit businesses, right? Now I'm not going to go ahead and read this whole article word for word. You could just check out this article on the Weibo platform, but essentially it just covers how we have Richard Branson yet again selling millions of dollars of shares, right? Now the reason, as the article mentioned in the first couple of sentences, is that he's selling his shares to help fund other business ventures within the Virgin business group, right? And I probably said that wrong, but the other business ventures that he has going on. Now that's really good long term for the stock, right? So if we're looking at the stock the next 2 to 5 years, maybe 10 years, it's always good, especially when companies sell their shares. This way they could fund the company. We saw that happen with AMC during the whole debacle when AMC was reaching all-time highs, and that literally saved the company of AMC from actually staying in business. So something really good for the long term. But the problem is, every single time you have an insider selling a ton of shares, it's overall not going to look good in the public eye. It just kind of looks bad. There's obviously a reason why we need to get the funds, or we need to sell to raise those funds. The company needs more capital. So overall it's good to sustain the business in the long run, but in the short term it's always seen as something bad. Now something I want to point out is that as a trader, right, if you're looking to buy into SPCE as a trader, you have to understand where we're at right now currently. So right now, again, we're still on the 4-hour chart, and something that I want to point out is that we're really in this middle ground. Honestly, we're between this channel level where we're between this resistance and this support. Now Again, when it comes to technical analysis, I don't have a crystal ball, although I know sometimes you guys may think I do. I really just trade whatever the market presents. And right now, as we're moving sideways, I'm not going to really take any more positions with SPCE until we see a major move. Now, what move am I looking for, right? Because this is really important. Well, I want to see either SPC start going up and break above the $29 resistance level, right? And if we could break above that resistance, then I am going to be a little bit more bullish. But when I'm going to go real bullish on SPCE is when SPCE breaks above the simple moving average of $35.67. So we can see we have two major resistance levels before that actually happens. That's where I'm going to start pouring in a heavy load to go ahead and capitalize off SPCE. Now, another option that I'm looking into with SPCE is waiting for SPCE to touch this range at around $23.22. And if we could hold above this level and start bouncing up, then of course, that's when I go in after I wait for that period of confirmation. But I'll likely either sell at the resistance over here or sell, a few of the shares and see if we could go up higher. Because as we can see, what I really like about SPCE is that it really does adhere to the channels that it trades between these resistance levels and these support levels. We can see it a multitude of different times in the chart over here. We see that, had resistance, fell down, broke through, had resistance, had support. Like, it just really bounces up. So as a trader, this is almost like a trader's dream, because, it kind of gets a little worrisome when a stock starts going higher and higher and higher. Because when a stock makes all-time highs, that means it's just closer for the reversal to take place. As we can see, obviously the reversal and trend did happen. But when we're looking at the shorter time frame and we see the stock bouncing up and down, it really presents a lot of opportunities to make, profit during the intraday trades. So that's something that I'm really looking forward towards with SPCE. Now, if you're looking at this from a perspective of an investor, someone who's looking at this long term, then of course you have to look at this long term. You can't be worried about the stock simply going down right now. You got to look at these as just simply buying opportunities. You could really just utilize the dollar cost averaging method, where every time we have the stock go down and you see a reverse, confirmation of it going back up, you could simply just buy in and, average down. Now, we could see that over here earlier in the chart, we saw that the stock ended up falling down. Someone who was investing could have simply just bought in some shares over here and then, of course, average down and see as it goes up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a real life example, or just kind of pull up a tool that you guys can use, especially for the investors out there using the dollar cost averaging method. So really just make sure to hit the like button, because this is really good information that I'm going to share with you guys. So what I'm going to share with you guys is a tool. It's a website that I actually use for whenever I'm going to dollar cost average for my long-term position. So again, you guys know that I'm trading SPCE for the short-term profits, but as far as someone looking for the long-term, trades, right? The trades that may be like 1 year, 2 years, or maybe just 6 months. Let me show you an actual tool. It's a website that I use. I'm gonna go ahead and link the website in the description below, and it's really just an online calculator where you could see how to average down. So let's go ahead and use this into a real life example. So let's say you bought AMC at the top, right? I mean, not AMC, I'm sorry, SPCE at the top at $37.50. Let's just say you bought at $37.50. You could simply enter that in the calculator, the purchase price of $37.50. And just to keep things simple, let's just say we bought 100 shares, right? Now, let's go ahead and go back to the chart. And let's say, SPCE did go down and we touch this area of $23.62. Once we see that confirmation of it going up, maybe you're like, okay, well, let me add into that position. So let's say you bought in some more shares at $24.47. So let's go ahead and notate that. $24.47, and let's just say hypothetically this was an additional 100 shares. You would simply just type that in on this website. You could calculate it, and now we would see that we have 200 shares at an average price of $30.98. So let's go ahead and go back to the chart. So you'd still be down, but as it was going up, you can see that already at this area, we're already at a profit. Even though we bought in over here and this area is lower than when we initially bought in, because you're averaging down, this allows you to make a profit as the stock goes up. So, that's a tool that I use. Again, I'm going to go ahead and utilize that and put that in the description for you guys to definitely bookmark that. So don't worry, don't panic as the stock is going down if you're someone who's holding this from a long-term perspective, because let's say you just absolutely bought this at the peak. There is hope for you. Every time we see these major sell-offs. Once you see that confirmation of the reversal, and what do I mean by confirmation? It's something I talk about in the Push and Profit program all the time. By the way, quick plug for you guys, if you guys are interested in learning how I view the stock market and what I use to trade to make these profits that I show you guys in the market, make sure to check out the links in the description below, because one of the links is going to be a link to the Push and Profit program, and in that program there are a ton of video lessons that help you learn how I trade in the stock market and what I utilize. And along with that, you will also be able to have the opportunity to message me during our daily briefings where we talk about what's going on with the overall market. So make sure to utilize that link in the description below. Also, there is a coupon code that will be expiring in just a few days. Next week it does expire, so make sure to utilize that coupon code. It is 50% off, so definitely check that out. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the video. But when we have a stock sell off and start bouncing up and having an indicator indicate confirmation, for example, we have the exponential moving average, we have the simple moving average. So once we sell off and start coming above a indicator like one of these moving averages, that is just a signal of confirmation, and that's when you would add more shares in, and then you could utilize that calculator to obviously measure where you're buying into to see your average price. And then as the stock goes up, you could simply exit your position or keep writing it up. At the end of the day, the market has a lot of opportunities, and really the easy part is making money. The hard part is keeping the money. This is something that I always say. The hardest part is actually just making sure you keep the money. There's a lot of tricks and tools that you can have up your sleeves as a trader or an investor, whatever you want to call it. So with that being said, hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know in the comment section below, are you guys swing trading SPCE, or are you guys investing long term in SPCE, or are you trading this for a short-term profit like what I have been doing for the last couple of weeks? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to hear your perspective on this. And with that being said, guys, again, my name is Justin Fernio from Push and Profit, and I'll see you guys on the next video.